Hello and welcome back to Oscar Recap. Today we will recap.
He is the youngest billionaire too, sitting on tens of billions of dollars at birth, sleeping in a crib made of pure gold. His toys are either diamonds or money. Even his pacifier is made of solid gold. His name is Jack. His father is the richest man in the world. Jack was born with a personal butler. A dozen maids surround him every day. Because of his love of baseball, his father took time out of his busy schedule to practice with him. He even built him a pitch at home if he wants to work out. He has a celebrity trainer who works with him one-on-one. For his love of science, he built a laboratory directly underground. He had a famous scientist as a chaperone. The materials used for the experiments are all made of pure gold. Even with this life, Jack couldn't be happy. The house is too big. Even meals required telephone communication. One day, Jack was standing in for his father at a factory donation event. As he stood on stage to give his speech as usual, he saw a group of children playing baseball not far away. He walked over to them and he wanted to join in the life of a normal person. The bouncer was afraid that he might be in danger, so he stopped him. Jack suddenly realizes that, although he could easily have anything he wanted now, but the only thing he didn't have, just as happy as a normal child, he wanted to invite his school friends to his home, but his classmates were all rich kids. The schedule is full, either to talk about a project or an acquisition, or to attend shareholder meetings. They didn't want to give up their money for the sake of having fun. Jack was disappointed in himself for being such a rich man. On his way home, he remembered the kids from that day. He tried to invite them over to his house to play, but the kids didn't appreciate it. They even teased him for not knowing how to play baseball. Jack was not happy about this. He said, "What if you hit it?" Of course the boys didn't believe him. They decided to make a $10 bet. Jack's deaf ears turned out to be 100,000.
Not 10,000. $10. Oh, $10.
And a few people scraped together. They finally got the $10 together. The first one, Jack was so nervous, he almost got hit on the head with a ball. Everyone started laughing at him, but the second batter was a straightforward win for Jack. The crowd was stunned. They had to settle for a bet. Jack said he hadn't wanted to bet. He simply wanted to invite them over to his house to play. The girl in the lead thought he was showing off. She refused the invitation. Jack had to put down his baseball bat and leave. He begins to resent this dull and boring status as a rich man. The next day, as the family prepares to go to the Queen's birthday party, Mom sees Jack's distress. She finds the housekeeper and asks him why. She decides to leave Jack at home to relax. She asks the housekeeper to invite the children over to the house. Jack finally smiles, but when the children came in, they were shocked. He has a private McDonald's. This boy sleeps in a bed made of solid gold every day and wakes up to do his morning exercises with a beauty pageant winner. Then he picks out a $1 million suit and he's off to school in a helicopter. The father has even built a laboratory underground for his tuition. On this day, housekeeper invited a group of slum kids to his home. When the housekeeper opened the door, they were instantly amazed that the house had a private McDonald's. Of course, that's not all he had. Jack took them to play indoor basketball, flying cannons. He even had go-karts in the private garden. There were even jet skis. The kids had so much fun. Jack said that was just the appetizer. He took the kids to a roller coaster that had been built just for him. A few people got on the roller coaster and enjoyed a wave of flying. The ride was a good one. The kids also accepted Jack, promised to be good friends with him. On the other hand, Jack's parents, however, inadvertently found the bomb on the plane and, although they threw it, but blew up the tail of the plane. The plane is forced into the sea. When Jack learns of this, Jack is unable to trace the plane using his family's location. The whole thing was planned by Jack's uncle. Jack's uncle's plan to fake a plane crash, to make Jack's family disappear, and then claim his inheritance. But what he never expected was that Jack didn't get on the plane. He escaped. The rules say that Jack was the first heir to the estate. What he didn't expect was that Jack was only 10 years old. Jack had an amazing mind for business. Even in his father's absence, he has managed the company in an orderly manner. The company's turnover had even doubled tenfold. The shareholders were convinced straight away. You have to admire this gene. His uncle, of course, couldn't stand the aggravation. He decided to blame the steward for the plane crash, and then bribes the police to send him to prison. Jack was left without a guardian. Naturally, he can't run the company either. The uncle then locks Jack in the house on the pretext of keeping him safe. Jack was locked up in the house in order to find out where Jack's parents were keeping their money. The uncle decided to install surveillance cameras to monitor Jack's every move. To get clues, he even plans to silence the jail housekeeper. But the scientist teacher overhears this and tells Jack that the first priority now is to get the butler out. But the butler is in prison. It's impossible to rob someone in broad daylight. Luckily, the teacher has given a treasure. This side of the housekeeper received a toothpaste that he was just about to brush his teeth with it. You'd think this was ordinary toothpaste. A man is about to brush his teeth with it. Before he even touches his mouth, the toothbrush melts. The man is so scared that he immediately checks the instructions for use and learns that it is a super concentrated corrosive given by his teacher. It corrodes everything. The butler thought of the prison windows. Just then, the killer sent by his uncle appears from behind. The butler is a master of hiding. The butler was a master of concealment. In 2 or 3 blows, the assassin was knocked out. He then strips him of his clothes. He escapes from the prison and meets up with Jack. Jack is convinced that his parents are still alive. Decided to borrow the girl's computer, again to access the family locator. This time, to his surprise, He receives a signal from Mom and Dad. With just a few seconds left in the signal reception, Uncle's assistant senses the problem. He rushed to the room to cut the signal. In order to go back and relocate Mom and Dad, Jack decides to ask his friends for help. They use a thrower to throw fertilizer at the security guard and knock him out. Then they sneak into the basement. They find the teacher, who has been kidnapped. After freeing the teacher uses a debugged invention to distract the security guards by making a fountain spewing a lot of bubbles. He then unplugs the power to disrupt the surveillance. Taking this opportunity, Jack rushes back to his room. He finds out that he is in his own house. It turns out that his uncle has already arrested the two men. He threatens them with the address of the hidden money. When Jack's father saw the situation and said that they were right outside the window, Uncle opened the window and saw a mountain of family portraits came into view. Could it be that all the money is on this mountain? He immediately asked Jack's parents to lead the way, and the way they opened the door was very special. The two of them
We'll travel along, singing our song, side by side. Code accepted. Thank you, listen, fucker.
The uncle was speechless and went in to see that, except for some broken bones and a rotten piano, there was no sign of gold bars or money. He asked the two men if they were playing a trick on him. They were at a loss, but of course they would have kept the money and gold bars in the bank. Who would hide such things? And indeed, these were the family's prized possessions. Full of memories, a furious uncle, unable to listen to anything else, orders his men to kill them. He ordered his men to kill them. Jack arrives at this moment. The uncle fired 2 shots at him, not realizing that rich people wear bulletproof vests. Then the family teamed up and knocked them down. They ran out. They tried to use the door to lock them in, but they were too late and got out. The family was forced to the cliff. There was no way out. They had no choice but to climb up the mountain. The uncle's side was pressing on. 2. The men below spotted them. They were immediately fired upon. The mountain began to crumble, just as the family's lives are at stake. The butler appears just in time. The uncle was blown off his feet. He will be punished by the law. With the help of their friends, Jack's family, the family continues to live a simple life.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.